Oh, hello. I am so excited to share a little bit about this new moon in Taurus happening on May 16th, 2026. We have been in a pretty significant dance with these moons lately, and feels like a really sacred and special time to really understand a little bit more of what the dance is with the cosmos, with the luminaries, sun and moon. I've got my son here with me, so if you hear any little baby coos, that's what's going on beside me. Okay, I'm sharing my screen so that we can really just dive in to the sacredness of this new moon. There's a few things I want to point out right away. It's happening around 1:01 p.m. This is Pacific Northwest here in the United States, but correlate it to wherever you are tuning in from. Here's the sun, here's the moon at that 25 Taurus. Now, Taurus is this sign that connects us in so specifically with the body because it rules the five senses. So, one of the things that I feel like really stands out with Taurus energy is it represents our resources, our personal resources. And when I was taking a walk this morning and just kind of tuning in, I really felt like one of the most important things that we can do under this new moon, especially because the energies around us on the planet right now are pretty intense. It's easy to doom scroll. It's easy to find something to kind of help you zone out. And I'm not talking about taking breaks. I think it's incredibly important for us to take breaks, but I am talking actually about learning how to resource ourselves differently than maybe we have had the capacity or understanding, maybe more of the understanding to do with our bodies and our nervous systems and our humanness in the past. So I really want to offer under the light of this new moon, what is something simple, Taurus, that you could do to really touch into your five sense reality? Taste, touch, smell, sound. There's one more. That's so funny, mama brain. You know what I'm talking about. What can you do to tap into an intimacy with like, what is my body really craving? For me right now, that's looked like taking a magnesium bath almost every single day as just like a touch in point with my body and my spirit and my mind and letting myself really soak in the magnesium salt. But my dear beloved friend Emmy, she and I run these initiatory women's groups in Left Hand Path, Feminine Mystery, Energy, and Style. And she is a master when it comes to Taurus energy because she is a Taurus moon and she has an inspiring relationship with the elements. I'm talking about sunlight, I'm talking about the wind, the breath, the water, the earth, and then the ether, the cosmos. And really asking yourself under the light of this new moon, what is it that I'm needing to feel deeper nourishment? A way that I can slow down, Taurus, almost with a stubbornness, Taurus, and touch into and make space and resource myself is what I'm getting at. I think that we, um, as a humanity, a lot of times actually don't really know what it means to resource ourselves. We're constantly looking for it externally. We're constantly blaming or making excuses for our external circumstances. And I really want to invite you into allowing your inner reality to start to communicate to you a bit and really listen to what's going on inside. What do I need? And I'm emphasizing this so much with the felt sense because not only is Taurus ruling all of that, and it's just in its health, it knows pleasure, it knows beauty, it knows harmony, it knows a beautiful aesthetic space. It appreciates the most delicious beverage or a great meal with like nutritious ingredients that came from sources that you really care about. Like that is totally Taurus and Taurus's vibe. But the other element that's at play here is also at 29 Taurus, we have Ceres, which is the Great Mother. And I think that this is an important piece in play here because I mean we're coming off of Mother's Day. What are you eating, you silliest? Literally, mama, here I am with the baby recording this. I think that there is this craving in our culture right now for Great Mother. Like we're starving for her actually. And a lot of times where Siri shows up, like she's really asked us, like, where are you at in the cycle with your body? Especially for any women watching this, like tuning into your menstrual cycle, to your moon cycle, syncing up with that, making space for that. It's like, it's not just important, it's actually part of, I feel like these small changes we make in our inner spaces, in our inner world, like that is these micro shifts that are affecting the macro. And it is such a significant time on earth. I say it over and over all the time because we are shifting out of this really um, war, power over, power under, patriarchal consciousness. We're shifting, and I'm not asking for matriarchal either. I'm asking for a balance between the two, between the masculine and the feminine inside of us. So, listening to our bodies, slowing down, actually figuring out how to resource ourselves from the inside out, it's so incredibly not just important for our health as beings. Like that is a step in creating this new reality, creating an emphasis in the consciousness of balance, of equilibrium. And what a way to almost take a stand in the face of a culture that does not do it that way. The other piece here is that we have Mercury right on the other side of the sun and the moon. And Mercury is the psychopomp. Mercury rules our mind and our communication. And if you're not familiar with the term psychopomp in psychology is this being that actually is a traveler, kind of like a shamanic sort of energy, can go down into the underworld, so into the dark, into the things that we maybe don't see in the light of day or in the light of our day-to-day consciousness. He can collect information down there and then he can bring it back up to the upper world unscathed is always the part that I want to emphasize. Not hurt, not broken. Maybe some things illuminated down there in the shadow that was like, whoa, I didn't see that. Or whoa, I did not realize my body was asking for that. Or oh, I didn't realize I had this belief that I actually needed to work harder in order to rest, that I wasn't worthy of rest, or I wasn't worthy of nourishment, or I wasn't worthy of fill in the blank. I needed to produce these kind of the shoulding on yourself. I mean, all of that is this old patriarchal consciousness, this warring consciousness that's about domination and control. It's just, it's not what we're shifting into. But we've been in this programming for thousands of years. So our ancestors know it, our lifetimes know it. Like it's deep. It runs through our cells, it runs through the fascia of our bodies, it runs through our soul stories and our soul lineages. But here you are now on this planet, writing a new story through your lived life as we're having this conversation right now, not in 5 years from now, not in 6 months from now, now. And the beautiful thing about new moons is they're a time for seeding. So, what seeds for this month are you planting? I love following the moon cycles because it's just month by month by month. What seeds am I planting? What do I want to see? What do I want to step into? And honestly, with the Taurus energy, it can be subtle. And maybe for you, the aliveness on is that it's not subtle and it's actually it's a huge moment for you in your journey. Great. But I think for a lot of us, these are going to be subtle shifts under the surface as we're kind of entering into a very cosmically impactful summer, which I'll touch on in later videos. The last thing that I want to just highlight with this new moon is that we have Chiron and Mars here, both at 28 degrees, almost to the minute, conjunct, merging together. This is important. Now, I want to just travel back in time with you to the last new moon that happened about a month ago and just say and remind us that the sun and the moon were actually merging with Chiron. So there was a highlighting of the Chiron story, which he is the wounded healer. And in essence, his story is all about meeting as he grew, meeting the wound inside of himself that showed up physically for him in his left ankle around abandonment and rejection. So the stories are up. They have been up for the last month of ways I felt abandoned, ways that I felt betrayed, ways that I felt rejected for just like being who I am, or being used in some way. And these honestly, for Chiron, it was a childhood wound. So these are old stories, old wounding that's showing up. And in these last degrees here of Aries, Aries in when it's wounded is absolutely a part of that warring consciousness, the power over dynamic, the just like blasting ahead, only thinking of yourself, pretty narcissistic when it's wounded. But Aries in its essence is the spark that begins spring. For me, and so much of the way that I tune into Aries energy is that very foundational I am energy. If we don't know who we are, and we don't have that as a starting ground, we're going to be so manipulated. We're going to be so tossed around as we move through the world. We're going to self-abandon. We're going to make choices that are not out of alignment because we don't have that baseline starting ground. So Aries is the beginning. It is the I am. This is who I am. It's how I know myself. So without that foundation of the I am, we're totally lost in the sauce. And Aries, the other piece of this puzzle here that's going on is that we have the Mars in Aries. Mars is at home in Aries. And I have this teacher, Jocelyn Starfeather, who teaches on Mars, and it's a powerful teaching. But she was reading to us these ancient Sanskrit texts. So these are dating back like 6,000 plus years. And the people were actually worshiping Mars as they say it's something along the lines of, I'm probably going to botch it, but supporting, honoring, and protecting the womb of all existence. Oh, Mars, like we bow to you, we honor you. So Mars gets a pretty bad rep if you listen to most astrologers talk about Mars. And I want to invite us to actually touch in to the essence of who Mars is without even our overlays and ideas of like what we think Mars is. Because he is here to support, to revere, to honor, to protect this womb of all existence. And in the sign of Aries, like he's at home there. He's wanting to help initiate a change actually in the warring consciousness, a change in the power over, power under dynamics, a change in this patriarchal way that gets so black and white, so good and bad, so right and wrong. And I quote this all the time, but it's my favorite quote by Rumi. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. I think that this Mars and Aries merging with the Chiron is actually here to help us know ourselves, but not through this filter of black and white, good, bad, right, wrong, but actually like what would it mean to take a step back, to slow down, Taurus, to ask ourselves, what do I need to be resourced this month? And then maybe just take a little step out into that field, beyond the wrong and right doing, beyond the wounded Aries energy that wants that can only see things in a certain way and is going to fight till the death. And coming back into some of the alignment, some of the essence of Aries, which is here to help us with a whole new beginning. But that, my friends, it always starts within. And there's that ancient quote, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. The planets aren't outside of us manipulating us. The planets live inside of us. And they mirror to us in so many ways things that are going on inside of us on our journeys. But they actually are, they're just pointing us to come back in, start here, know yourself here, locate yourself here. And I think that this new moon actually has a lot of gifts. It may absolutely touch on some pretty deep pain points from the past, just continuing again, like I said, from the new moon a month ago, and then the full moon also activated Chiron with Mercury there. So the Chiron story's been up, but it's for you. It's for us to be with some of these really deep circumstances, really deep stories from the past, and actually learn how to start to resource ourselves in a new way and allow the alchemy, the shifting to take place. So I'm wishing you all a very, very blessed new moon in Taurus. If you want to go deeper at all, please visit my website. I have lots of different kinds of readings that are available. And I would love to be in your chart, be in your blueprint, and kind of even touch into where this new moon might specifically be impacting you and illuminating and highlighting for you. So, deep love, many blessings, and bye for now.